Hello my lovelies, here are your oracle messages for Scorpio for the month of May 2019. Oh my word, so many lovely things going on for you. Some of it quite intense, very powerful, and it's looking at how you work through it really. I've been given a vision for you and a snippet of a song, and as I said with the other signs, the universe has got me using my vocal cords in another way for you, and all of these little bits of song and the lyrics are hopefully to reach you on a deeper level, to encourage you and to give you some sense of where you're at the moment. So the vision, very interesting with all of the stuff that's going on around you, was of I heard the song Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo from Disney's Cinderella, with the three little fairies who help transform things for Cinderella. So I'm looking at her in the kitchen of the home she shares with her stepmother and her ugly sisters, and she's in drab clothing. Suddenly the fairy godmother shows up and she waves her wand and she transforms the mice into horses. She transforms the pumpkin into a carriage, and she transforms the rags and slippers into this beautiful outfit and glass slippers. And I heard that you are your own fairy godmother or godfather. So you have the ability to transform things very profoundly in your lives now. The planet that rules Scorpio is called Pluto, and traditionally Mars ruled Scorpio as well. And as of the 24th of April, Pluto has turned retrograde, meaning going backwards. So when the planets do go retrograde, it's for us to go over stuff, to revisit scenarios, to have another look at perhaps what's been plaguing us, what old patterns we keep running, and how we can tidy those things up and transform them. And when the planets move direct again, to be able to say, right, I've cleared that away, I don't need that way of living anymore, this is how things are going to be. So within the story of Cinderella, she transforms her life completely with the help of the fairy godmother, who, as they have said, you have within you anyway, and bringing yourself out of that, the cinders of the fire in the kitchen, to have a life where everything that you've dreamed of comes to you. So also I saw within the vision that moment where she runs away from the prince but leaves the glass slipper behind, and he starts to search for her. So the theme of this reading seems to be that things are transforming very strongly in your life, and the prince is actually your male energy. So whether you're male or female watching this, and the male energy going on a quest, searching for the person whose foot fits the slipper, the glass slipper. And with the retrograde motion of Pluto, there is this quest coming up for you. It can be a vision quest, it can be a soul searching, but looking for and finding those hidden parts of yourself that need to be revealed. So all fairy tales have a deep philosophical meaning to them, but I feel in the context of how I've been shown it in the vision, this is very appropriate and apt to you. So yes, Cinderella was a female, or is a female. So whoever you are watching this, the female part of ourselves is the dreams, the goals, the visions of what it is we want to manifest in our lives. So even though you might have ugly sisters around you, or a dominant stepmother, however those characters show up in our lives, is to be able to overcome those pressures, to be able to forgive how other people have treated us, and to draw in or attract in the prince to come and rescue us. But it isn't necessarily an outside person. That prince is our inner prince, like we have the inner fairy godmother or godfather, or inner princess. And allowing this process to happen and unfold in divine timing. So this period of retrograde, some people might find it a bit frustrating and possibly feel that there are delays around some of the plans that you wanted to put into action. But when you go with it, go with the retrograde planets, the retrograde motions, and see how, when you're working with it, it feels more comfortable for you. You might be able to find out, looking at your own birth chart, if Pluto was retrograde when you were born. You will see the Pluto sign and a little R underneath it, which will denote whether it's retrograde or not. So I've asked for some oracle cards for you, and I have one of my paintings here, which I'll explain as we work through these cards. And it's lovely to see what's actually shown up to support you through this quest, this adventure, delving deeply into things. Now, Pluto is the Roman name, and Hades is the Greek name for the planet that rules Scorpio. So he is the Lord of the Underworld. So on this quest, you may find that you are looking into things that on some level might appear dark or shrouded or occult. And the word occult just means hidden. When we go to the oculist, they give us glasses. So it's just hidden. So things coming to be revealed to you. I also get the sense that you are not on this journey alone, because, as it said in the vision, you are your own fairy godmother. So you have within you the ability to change things, transform things from one thing into something else. This can also be you you looking at what you're eating, what you are ingesting, because pumpkin energy, that is to do with the harvest time. So we're looking forward to August, September time for you. Something showing up then. Now, also in the Eastern tradition, the story of Cinderella and the transformation of things is to do with the lungs and the large intestine. So with the lungs, we're breathing in to be inspired with things, and with the large intestine we're eliminating. And the energy of that is about transformation, so transforming food into nourishment, into blood, and then getting rid of those bits that we don't need anymore. So this can be quite a journey for some of you. And as I said, you're not going through this on your own. There are energies assisting you, so like the three little fairies. So working with fairy energy or angelic energy, inner godmother energy, it may show up as an actual person in your life. So you may have someone around you, whether it's a family member or a friend, but I also get the feeling that new associations will be coming in for you, and it's people showing up at exactly the right time. And on some level you've made a soul contract with them that they will turn up at this time to assist you in this quest. Now your self-mastery card, love. So a lot of this journey you're going on, this quest, is about seeking love, but finding it within yourself. So if you think of Cinderella and her prince, they were seeking each other to find love. But also the Cinderella and the prince are our own male and female energies within us. So it's seeking that love within yourself. Where there is love, there is no fear. Where there is fear, there is no love. As a master, I realize love is the power that heals me and everyone around me. Love is my life and my sustenance. So when we go into a place to have a quest or a journey or an adventure, if we step into it in fear, that's what will meet us. If we step into it with love, that's what will meet us. An open heart, no expectations, just this feeling of, I have to do this, I have to explore this, I have to go quite deep down. I might feel a bit trepidatious, but I'm leaving fear at the door. That's not joining me. It's not accompanying me on this journey. Now your angel card, well, two of them showed up, which is fascinating. So you have spontaneity and brotherhood. So there's an angel of spontaneity, which you might not think of as a Scorpio trait, being spontaneous, just doing it, getting up and doing it. But I feel with this change and shift of energies with these planets, that some things are just going to come in, and your gut instinct, your intuition will just say, yeah, right, okay, I'm doing it. I'm putting on my backpack, I'm putting on my walking boots, I've got my torch, and I'm going. I'm coming with you, all right? And the brotherhood, angel of brotherhood, again confirms you're not on your own. So there's a team, right? You've got your angelic team, your angelic helpers, fairy energy, elementals. So it's tapping into those, what some might call mystical parts of ourselves. And it might shake up your belief system to a certain degree, because you might have just been living your life plodding along thinking, well, this is how things are. I get in my car and go off to work every day, or whatever you do with your days. And you talk about the football, or you talk about the rugby, or what was on the telly last night, and you have a meal and there's nothing more outside of that. But what's coming in, not just for Scorpios, but for all of us, is another level of awareness that there are other things unseen that are becoming visible to us, that want to show up in our lives. And because you're a water sign, water signs have a very powerful ability to be intuitive, to be psychic, to have that knowingness, that inner knowingness, to be visionaries. And that's been knocking at the door for a little while now. And it's whether you open that door and say, right, come on in. Let's have a chinwag and see where we go with this. So going back to the vision about Cinderella, she didn't let her fears stop her from going to the ball. She had these ugly sisters and a dominating stepmother who was controlling and bullying, manipulative. But she found the courage and the determination to transform things in her life and to go off and enjoy herself and go to the ball and have an adventure. And in the end, it worked out very well for her. Not so much so for her family members, but also the character of the stepmother and the ugly sisters are aspects of us anyway. So every relationship we have is a mirror of some sort. So whether you like that character or you don't like that character, they're reflecting back something about us and what needs to be healed. Now I've asked for an animal for you, an animal card, and this is lovely. This is deer. Deer energy. And it's number 4. So I feel this is to do with April, tail end of April, because that's the 4th month. And see, all right, I'm hearing the word instigated. See what was instigated in the second 2 weeks of April, whether you instigated something or somebody else instigated something. Away you go with that. So 4 is about stability and structure and security. So if things have been wobbling around you, it's about finding that stability again. And there's a lovely story associated with deer. These are the Native American medicine cards. Little deer had a very pure heart, and she was full of love. Absolutely full of love. No fear at all. And she heard Great Spirit call her to come and visit at the top of the mountain. And so she set off on her quest, on her little journey up the mountain. But barring her way was a really nasty ogre, a really ugly, smelly old, stinky old ogre. And he jumped out and tried to frighten her and growled at her and stinky breath. But she was so full of love and without fear. And the ogre said, "Where are you going?" She said, "I'm going to meet Great Spirit. He's invited me, he's called me to the top of the mountain. Please let me pass." And the ogre tried again to frighten her and growled at her. But she'd just beamed such love at him, and again had absolutely no fear of him, that he just started to shrink to the size of a walnut. And so she carried on her journey up the mountain to see Great Spirit. So whatever ogres are on your pathway, whether it's a stepmother, ugly sisters, ugly brothers, dominating, manipulating people who don't want the best for you, who want to see you fail. It's using this unconditional love, not stepping into fear, knowing that Great Spirit is calling you to better things, to have an adventure, to go on this quest, and to move beyond controlling words of others or controlling behaviours of others, and knowing that you raised your energies, your vibrations to a much higher place. So the little mini deer says, be gentle with yourself and offer kindness to all living things. So if we are unkind to others and are rough with others, we can't find that sense of love and compassion for others. And this starts with you. Be gentle with yourself on your journey. Offer kindness to all living things. This morning, my lovely neighbours, a 6-year-old girl, there was a little woodlouse crawling across the gate between our gardens. She said, what's that? I said, it's a woodlouse. I said, in Somerset they're called grumpy gravies, or grubs for gravy, make gravy from it. I don't know if they don't really do that, but anyway. And she said, oh, can I hold it? And I said, well, we can have a go. So this little creature crawled from my hand onto hers. And I said, when they're afraid, they actually roll up into a tiny little ball. So like a bullet, you know, they've got quite a hard shell on them. And I said, shall we call it Walter? Walter the woodlouse. And she said, oh no, we call it Rosie. Okay, we'll call it Rosie. And then the mum said, right, come on, we've got to go to school. And so she yells back, bye-bye, Rosie. Have a lovely day. See you later. And there was such this sense of joy. There was no fear of these creepy crawly, as some people might call it. And she was gentle with all living things. So the tiniest of little woodlice, she wasn't afraid of it. She didn't want to squish it, like some kids do. And she said, I'll see you when I get back from school. Well, she might see Walter rather than Rosie, so whichever one shows up. But it's just that example of living life with a sense of fearlessness and being gentle with yourself and other things around you. Now, this is a very interesting card that's shown up for you. It is from the Oracle of Avalon, and it's protection. You see the symbol right in the earth there. So as you go on this quest, this journey, this adventure, know that you are completely protected. Yes, you have a shell, being the scorpion. You have your protective shell and you have your stingy tail as well. But I feel it's unnecessary for you to use that part of you to strike out, because you have the inner fairy godmother and the fairies, fairy energy, the elementals. So wherever you place your feet in this month of May and beyond, it's safe. It's safe for you to go there. I also get the sense that the glass slipper, Cinderella's glass slipper, there's such a significance to that, because she left one behind, and then the prince searched for her to bring that to her to match the pair up again, the slipper's end. Then And the glass, if you think about wearing glass slippers, it's not a daft thing, you know, they probably cripple your feet or break very, very easily. But you could also see them as sort of crystal slippers, this energy of transparency, being able to see through. So wherever you place your feet now, there is a transparency. There's a sort of a magic to magic steps, magic magic footprints. Feeling like the path will come up to meet you, as they say in the Gaelic. May the path come up to meet you, wherever you place your feet in this lifetime. This is also about you protecting your dreams, your visions, your goals, keeping things to you until the right time, until they come to fruition. And right through this retrograde period, knowing that sometimes when we visit or revisit scenarios, situations in our lives, when we went there before, it could have been fearful or a bit scary. But now as you walk into it with an open heart and fearlessness, you will be approaching it in a very different way because you are protected as well. So nothing can harm you, only if you allow it. Nothing can come into your life unless you allow it. So we'll finish off with a card from Gordon Smith's 5 Keys to Happiness. And it is the Space Family. It's interesting with the readings I've done so far, everyone's had a card from the Space Family. So that's really outside of the other elements, earth, air, fire and water. So something's happening in the collective. Something really big, really major is happening in the collective because it's outside of our sphere, Mother Earth. So this says, you have the quality of complete openness, absolute potential. You are connected to all beings. Everything is linked by the vastness of space. Crystals are connected by a net of rainbow filaments of light. It's a vast net that covers all galaxies. Within each crystal is a golden embryo emitting the full spectrum of colour into an unlimited 3-dimensional expanse. You feel connected to all of life. You're developing empathy for all beings and are beginning to understand others. You're now noticing people's similarities more than their differences and realizing that you're at the dawning of your own conscious awakening. So when we acknowledge our conscious awakening, that's when things start to show up. Because if you imagine if Cinderella hadn't had that sense of trust that this little old lady who showed up in her kitchen could transform things for her, she'd still be in that situation, working for her stepmother and ugly sisters. So when we trust things that are outside of our sphere, that are or have been hidden to us, that we've had no experience of before, it's like what I said earlier about we can't see the wind. We can feel it, we can see what it does. So whatever it is that is beckoning you, it's making a connection on a very deep level. So this can be your soul connection, your starseed connection, your planetary connection, where you originated from, which planet you came from. And my painting here is as you can see, a seascape, but within it we have a face and her arms, and this is Thetis. Now Thetis is a goddess of the ocean, and she was actually the mother to Achilles. You heard of Achilles' heel? And she, to protect him from the gods, the wrath of the gods, she held him by his heel and dipped him into a sacred pool. But the only bit that wasn't touched by the water was his heel. So that was his vulnerable point. And here we have sea dragons. There's mummy dragon and the baby dragon. So I felt the energy of this painting was apt for your Scorpio energies, as it takes you into the depths of adventure. It's a bit like being a submarine, or being a submarine, and going deep down into your own depths and see what comes rising to the surface. Now, as I said at the beginning, I was given a snippet of a song for you, so bear with me. And I think it was Westlife sung it. It's just a snippet. You can Google the rest of it and see the other lyrics and how they might resonate with you. So anyway, it goes. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. Ooh, creaky at the bottom there. So, you raise you up. Yes, we can sometimes rely on others to raise us up, but it's like you raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up so I can walk on stormy seas. Stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to be more than I can be. And that's what we're all heading for, to be more than we can be, more than we think we are. To use a cliche, to be the very best version of myself that I can be. So I'm going to leave that with you, my darlings. Thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate your comments. That's been very encouraging for me. Helps me realise I'm doing the work, I'm on the right pathway. So please like and share. Please subscribe, because that really helps me to develop the channel. If anyone would like details of my artwork, the details are in the box below. And if you'd like a private session, you can find that out too. All of my artwork includes sacred water from Glastonbury Chalice Well and vibhuti, which is sacred ash. So I mix that with the paint. So whenever you view my artwork, it exudes healing energies. So that is being beamed out to you right now, my lovelies. So I wish you well for May. Go at it fearlessly, and know that you've got all the help that you need. So thanks again for watching. Lots of love. Bye.